Very recently, I received an interesting package from a subscriber. Davis sent me some quartz crystals. Very interesting to try and nap. Now this one I probably won't be able to. This one here, this big one. But some of these other ones, I looked at them already a little bit. They look like they are nappable. But if it's got internal cracks, it's probably not nappable. I mean, unless I can find a clear spot somewhere on those. So I'm going to look for one that doesn't have internal cracks. As you can see, these are not, well, see you later. These are not nappable, the ones that have internal cracks. But this is a possibility because it's consistent all the way through. Yeah, these are a possibility. They're going to yield small arrowheads. But yeah, let me just get a photo of this before I start. I have napped this before, this kind of stuff. Let's see. But it was not easy because it only naps well in certain directions. Now this part down here is not nappable. It's this part up here that is. The more clear it is, the better it is to nap. I could try this one first, I suppose. No, but it has internal cracks for sure. Yeah, those will get you. You can't nap through those. I mean, it's impossible. But luckily, he sent me a good batch. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of damage, internal damage on many of these. Yeah, like this, it's not possible to nap unless you have a clear, consistent area. Luckily, he sent a bunch, so I'll try. It's been a while, but I'm going to try to nap it and see how it goes. I'm going to knock off the bad area. Let's see if I can whittle it down. See how that looks? It's all bumpy. All right. And as you get into the clear zone, it gets a little bit better. Now, over the years, I've received many requests to nap quartz crystal. And every time I get some, it's always the cracked and unnappable variety like this. It's not nappable because of the internal cracks. I might be able to nap that. See how small? I'll save it over there. Let's see. I guess I could just whittle this down. Alrighty. Yeah, see how it these are ripples, right? But they're not the normal kind of ripples. They're very erratic. I say normal. Normal for a nappable stone. It is sharp. See, I just cut myself a little bit. It is sharp, and you can nap it, as I will show you, but it's not pretty. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try using the aluminum since it's a little bit softer. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier on the stone itself. You know, more merciful, I should say. So it's not going to blast through and cause a lot of extra cracking. Steel might cause extra cracking, so I don't want to use steel. Although I will probably try it. See, it's got an internal crack right there. I can't nap through that. I got to get rid of it. And I can't develop cracks like that while I'm napping I can't install those kind of cracks because it messes me up. I think that one was installed just now with one of the previous strikes, I think. Now, am I paying attention to the grain or how it's snapping in one direction or the other? No, I'm just trying to get rid of the bad area. I'm not paying attention to the grain yet. I might not even pay attention to it at all. I'm just going to hit on areas that look like they're good platforms and hope for the best. Yeah. Strike and pray. Hope for the best. See, it develops these weird flakes and these weird cracks. And it doesn't run a ridge like normal. Like, see how I hit this off of here? It should have run a little bit smoother than that. But I have a crack here on this side that wasn't there before. Yeah, all right, so yeah, some people have access to lots of this stuff for free. That's why they ask if it can be napped, because they have a lot of it. And I hate to tell them, but in most cases, I have to tell them that it's not nappable because of the internal cracks. If you have a large clear one, keep it and sell it. Don't try to nap it. Just sell it to a rock collector for display. Trying to nap this stuff is going to cause you to be very stressed out. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I can nap this into an arrowhead, possibly. Yeah, as long as there's no weird internal cracking going on. It looks okay. Yeah. I'll set that one aside. I'll set those aside in case this one breaks. I can just get another one. I get one of those on the side and finish it off. Finish it out. See how it step fractured right there? Very weird type of fracture. Now what's interesting about people who want to know how to nap this is that they're extremely interested in how to nap it more than any other material I've ever seen anyone interested in. It's the quartz crystal that seems to pique their interest like nothing else. Yeah. All these small flakes can be napped. Not well, but they can be napped. This flaked well in this direction here. Yeah, that's a normal looking fracture. Now, as it gets thin, as we all know, if you've been watching the channel, that's when the real napping starts. This is not the real napping yet. Wait till it starts getting thin, and then you have to fight the natural tendency of the stone to break along certain planes. Yeah. It will not break along the plane that you want. It will want to go its own way. And all the rules on platform angles and directions of force and all that go out the window. It wants to fracture its own way. I'm going to try to roughen this up. Although, you know, it's extremely tough, right? It's not like glass that gets roughened up easily. I'll roughen that up so that I can hit that platform or that striking area to try to get that mass off of there. Yeah. Yeah, it's not breaking in a normal way like it did on this other side. Or right there. Alright. That was a little bit better. But I had to hit that really, really hard. I'm probably going to zone out here. Just hold on. I'm trying to get used to this material. This particular piece. Yeah, I'm going to switch to steel before this becomes a little crumb and I haven't tested the steel on it yet. Now the reason why I haven't abraded it yet is because there's a lot of good angled striking areas, but now I'm losing the good striking areas, and I'm going to have to start hitting areas that are subpar. I need to get in there and see if I can focus the force so I can get rid of some of this mass. See, there's an internal crack that goes right across here. Can you see that one? There's a crack that goes through there, right there. It doesn't go all the way to the other side, but it is in there. I've got to nap that out of that area without breaking the whole thing in half. That probably sealed its fate right there. You can see the crack expanded. So now it's gone through the whole thing. So let's see. Well, it's not breaking apart yet. I will continue. But it looks like there's a crack. It might be healed, right? But it looks like there's a crack all the way through. Alright. We shall see. So far I'm treating this just like any other piece of chert. If I notice that there's a way to nap this in a certain direction, I will change my napping a little bit. Now, if I find that that crack is a healed crack, I might consider napping some of the other cracked ones, because not all those cracks, they might not all be bad cracks. Some of them could be healed, which means I can nap through them or nap with them inside the point without any ill effects. Yeah. It's very slippery on the smooth areas. The steel seems to be working all right. It's not overly crushing the edge. Okay, I'm trying to be delicate and I'm dropping everything. All right. And since I cleared away all my floor in front of me, now when something hits the floor, it'll bounce like 5 feet away and I can't grab it. Whereas if I have stuff around the perimeter of where I'm filming, it'll bounce off and come back in. But I want to have that space clear in front of me for other things that I'm doing. Okay. And I just seem to be butterfingers today. That also. But yeah, it's very slippery. Okay, let's see. All right. I'm just going to hit it. Hit it like it's any other rock. I'm trying to thin it down. I'm not hitting it any harder than I would a regular piece of chert. Not yet, anyway. I'm trying not to hit it too hard because I'm not sure what it will do. But as I get used to it, I might hit it really hard to get one of these faces to flatten down. You know, get rid of the turtleback. I don't know. I guess I just need to abrade and go to town on it. Trying to take off big flakes, but it's dicey. I should just try to whittle it down. The flakes are not expanding like they would normally do on a regular piece of flint or chert. They dig in a lot. They don't skim over the top very well. And I'm just going to continue knapping this until it's done. I'm not going to split this video up into segments. I'm just going to knap it until it's done. And that crack going through there seems to be healed, so it's not interfering with the knapping at all, which is good. Very good. I am looking for ridges to run, but I'm also looking for fat spots that I can remove flakes from that don't necessarily have a good ridge to them. Seems to be all right. Yeah, it's almost like knapping tempered glass. Tempered glass has a tendency to fracture in weird ways. And the chunks are blocky. The chunks that come off are blocky and not thin. The flakes that come off are not thin, they're blocky on the tempered glass. So this is similar in the feeling of it. Where is my file? Yeah, if I don't thin this down early, it's going to be hard for me to thin it down later. So I hope that I can get some of this turtleback situation under control. Another thing is I can't see what I'm doing very well. All right, let's try something here. I'm going to try some pressure flakes. Oh, where is my pad? Okay. Okay, that wasn't bad at all. All right. All right. So I pushed on the face of that step fracture right there, and it did work. All right. I shall continue. What I'm trying to do is get rid of some of the thick areas, some of the turtlebacks that are developing. Right now I'm just regularizing it. I'm looking for places that I can just remove an easy flake to get it more rounded and convex and with less little dips. See, when I take a flake out, you get a dip. It really scoops out quite a bit. And yeah, it does step fracture. But the flakes do not run that long. So I got to be careful not to install step fractures in the middle. To run these flakes past the middle is not going to be easy. Yeah. I'm trying to attack that head on, that step fracture, just to see what happens. It's not going well, so I'm gonna have to sneak up on it from the side or from the same edge or from the other side. I've already tried to nap that out of there from the other side, like right there. I hit a flake off right here. It scooped in that way, but it didn't go all the way over to the top of that step fracture. The step fracture is right there. See it? So I'm going to try to come in through this way. Here. That way. Can you see? Is it blurry? I'm going to try to come in through this way. But it's really kind of lumpy right here, so it's not a good spot. But I'm going to try it anyway. Just like I would with normal flint or chert. Alright, so that did flake kind of normal, but it didn't widen out. It did not send in a wide flake. I can try to get in there with a pressure flaker again. Let's see. See, we got to take care of those step fractures that get installed early on, because when it gets thin, there's no way to take those out without a miracle. Sometimes I can pull off a nice strike, but there we go. I pushed on the face of that step fracture. Got most of it. That's good. Very nice. Yeah, it's cooperating. Nice, okay. I'm trying to make that squeaky sound. Alright, let's see, where else am I having trouble? I crunched it right there. All right. Yeah, you can't see it. It's hard for me to see. You probably can't see what I'm doing. I can't even tell where the edge is. Yeah, the same issue with clear glass. It's hard to tell where the edge is. So you have to kind of feel around for the edge with the flaker. And if that doesn't make sense, it's because you're not napping it. When you start napping this stuff, and you'll see that it's hard to tell where the edge is till you put the flaker on the edge. It's okay as far as pressure flaking goes. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's all right. It's just a weird feeling, but I'm getting used to it. I think I'll be able to thin this down. It does hold an edge. I mean, it does create a good edge. I could leave it like that and it would be suitable for a projectile point. But I'll try to thin it down further. Yeah. Another thing is the steel, it slips. It's slipping on the edge a little bit. But it's not too bad. Yeah, so if I wanted to use this without much fuss, I would just probably use it in this condition with a little more sharpening and not worry about thinning it down. Okay, but I'm going to thin it down, or try to. Let's see what happens. So I regularized the edge and made it a little bit more consistent, so then I can look to see where I can drive some flakes to remove some thickness. Yeah, I think I can see where I'm going to go. Can you see the edge? Let's see. Yeah, not too bad. It's not too bad, actually. Yeah, it doesn't want to go past halfway, but it's not bad. I'm afraid to hit it hard, but it looks like it'll survive even if I hit it hard. So let's try it. Yeah, it's surviving well, even when I hit it hard. See, I took a chunk out of the side, and I was a little bit above center line. If you're a little bit above the center line and you hit it extremely hard and it survives, it means it's pretty strong material. So that's good. I took a chance, and it's pretty strong. At least in this direction, where I've got the biface going. I don't know if I'm lucky or if it's going to be like this for the other ones too. I'm going to nap more than this one. I'm going to nap a couple of those, or 2 or 3 of those eventually, those crystals, and see how consistent it is. Now, I'm in the small point mindset. I've made several small points this week, so it's helping me with this. It does feel a little strange, but it's not too bad. The main thing is the tools seem to be slipping on the edge a little bit. But as long as I grind the edge sufficiently, yeah, it's running. The flakes are running. Yeah, just like any other low quality shirt. You can, a lot of times you can get over or overcome the inadequacy of the rock by grinding the edge a lot and hitting really hard. It seems to be working on this one. Yeah, it did it. It went all the way across. I mean, it hit a bunch of stuff and the flake broke up, but it went across the center line. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the flakes, they don't fan out as a normal flint would do. They stay kind of narrow. They don't fan out as much as I think they should fan out. I guess that's kind of good when you're pressure flaking. If the flakes stay narrow, it's kind of good. All right, I'm going to kind of zone out here while I regularize it and try to get it smoothed out. And like I said, I'm going to run the video all the way through without stopping. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I got to go to the next segment. No, I'm going to go right through, right straight through. Well, I might not. It depends I gotta go and check on my dad. Yeah. Why don't I do that now? Yeah, now that I'm here, let me just pause it here. I need to go check on him. It's been a while since I was in the house, and he might be sitting there trying to figure something out. Alright, so that's the first stage, is the biface. It's actually working out pretty good. As long as I don't create a big step fracture somewhere, I don't see where there's any major issues. In the future, this is napping pretty well. Surprisingly well. Okay, so as long as I don't mess it up and install a step fracture really bad somewhere, it's working out. And that crack there looks like it's a healed crack and not a major difficulty. That one right through there. I don't see any problem with it. Alright, so that's the first stage. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can finish this out. Or finish it up. I'll switch to my high power glasses. Oh yes. I'll join these segments together. How's that? Yeah, I kept saying that I'm not going to stop the video. I went in there and checked on my dad, and he's messing with the remote control like I was thinking he was doing. But then he asked me, can you figure this out? And there's no way. I'll need a lot more time than what I got tonight to figure that remote out. Yep. Just in case. It's either going to take me 30 seconds or 3 hours. There's no in-betweens. Let's see. So he's fine. I'm just going to come back out here and finish up. Yeah, that should occupy him for at least another hour. Alright, so here we go. Got my high power glasses. I got my lighting that's pretty good. And no one can see because I'm working with clear material. Yeah, I feel like I'm napping an ice cube. All right. I gotta make sure I don't forget how to nap. Now, what kind of shape am I gonna make? I've already taken a chunk out. Should I do a corner notch? I don't know. Maybe. That seems to be the easiest. And it's already going in that direction. See, the terminations are not that feathery. So I'm thinking it's a mid-grade. If I was to recommend, or if I was to evaluate the quality of this kind of quartz crystal, if the terminations are feathery, which it seems like they want to terminate nicely in most cases, but some cases it doesn't. If the terminations are not that great, I rank it lower on the scale of, you know, good and bad. It's on the bad side if the terminations are not feathery. It's like if they get all crunchy toward the end like that. Like this, just a little bit of crunchiness or undetached flake. That means it's a lower quality. It's not too bad, actually. If I can pick it out, it's not bad. So we'll see. The jury's still out on the quality or the skill level needed. There's two aspects. The quality and the skill level needed to knap it. I think I can notch it well. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to continue to thin it. And yeah, it'll probably be a corner notch. I just need to regularize it before I thin it anymore. Okay, I can use a spatula tool. Just downward flakes. Downward pressure to produce short flakes. To regularize the edge. It is sharp. These little flakes are sharp. Very sharp. So after I regularize the edge, I'm going to do some more percussion flaking to thin it down. Just like regular, same old, same old. So this is not too bad actually. So far, let me put my other glove on. Where's my other glove? I don't have it available in 5 seconds. So forget it. With the short flakes, I don't have to worry that I'm thinning the edge too much. You know what I mean? If I thin the edge too much, I won't be able to do those nice percussion strikes. But with short flakes, I'm not thinning the edge too much. I'm just making it more regular so I can grind it down and have a good striking area. Nice and regular. And I can be more predictable. With the flake removals. It's actually pretty sharp. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I could stop at any time. It's sharp. Nice and sharp. Alright. But I've got to dull it. For those of you who tuned in, are brand new to the channel, because you saw the quartz crystal thumbnail, I'm dulling it again so I can strike off more flakes. I can't strike a sharp edge without crushing the sharp edge. And when you crush the sharp edge, it just crushes the edge. It doesn't remove a flake across the surface. Okay? So I just went through and it looked like I sharpened the whole thing, right? That's what it looked like I did. And yes, it did get sharp, but that was not the purpose of me running along the edge with the pressure flaker this time around. The purpose of me going around with the pressure flaker was to make it more regular so I can see good areas to strike. Whereas if it's all wonky, it's too chaotic. I can't see the good areas. This helps me to see much better where I can strike to remove a thinning flake. And it has to be dull enough so it won't crush, like I said. Okay. Here we go. I have to make sure the initial conditions are good, which means a freshly ground down tooltip. Nice regular edges, nicely ground down edges, high power glasses. I checked on everything that could have been distracting me. I should not get a phone call or any kind of distraction or interruption. All right, and then you can zoom in. For those of you who don't know, you touch the screen on your phone and zoom in, it'll zoom in. And you can touch the screen and move it around to center it on what I'm doing. Okay? All right. I just give you a fair warning because I'm going to be doing some voila type flake removals. Hopefully. Those of you who have watched the channel know what I'm talking about. But the new guys, they don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not too bad, not too bad. I get nervous though, because I could break it in half. I'm not sure how crazy I can be with the force of the strikes. Yeah, I haven't napped enough of this stuff to know the limits. But it seems to be working well. See that? It is traveling. The flakes are traveling more than halfway, even though they don't want to. They keep breaking up. But at least they're pushing their way across. In most cases. Yeah, I'm just going to nap it like any other stone. Okay? So far there hasn't been any special technique. The main thing that is different is that I can't see the edge that well. And I don't know the strength of the material. Because I haven't napped enough of it to know its limitations. Alright, so that's all I can tell you for now. No, nothing special. Or nothing unusual. It is holding up well to percussion and to pressure, so it's like any other difficult type stone. It is on the difficult side because the flakes are not coming off like regular normal flint or chert. They're a little bit blocky. They're a little bit shorter than I expect. I'm going play by play on this because there are so many people that have asked me to do this in the past that I want to make sure I cover all the bases so I don't get too many more questions. Hopefully I can point to this video and say, yeah, I tried to answer all the questions about this quartzite, this quartz crystal. Okay, so just watch that video. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I crushed the edge right there. So that's pretty typical of anything you nap. If you don't, I don't think I've ground the base. If you don't grind it before you strike it, in many cases it'll crush. Yeah. And even if you do grind it, sometimes it crushes anyway. But I'm not encountering any major issues. No. Nothing major. The thinner I get it, the easier it'll be to notch it. So I'm going to be taking some time trying to thin it down here near where the notches are going to be. And it seems to be working. Nice. But look at all those ripples in that. Some has a lot of ripples and some flakes don't. See that? So I'm kind of going against the grain a little bit, it looks like, when I'm going in this direction. But from the sides, you can see how smooth the flakes removals are from the sides. Now sometimes the ripples are due to the chattering of the tool itself on the edge. But sometimes the ripples have to do with the properties of the stone. So these two side by side right there, they were not exactly the same strike, but yet they yielded the same kind of rippling. So I think the rippling is part of the stone structure. It's caused by the stone structure in that direction. Those two strikes were a little bit different from each other. This one was hard. It was very hard, a lot of energy, and I think the platform was not that well developed. But this had a good platform, but I used less energy. It still caused the same kind of rippling. So I'm thinking it's the stone. And yeah, see, this one didn't cause any rippling at all. It's just smooth. Yeah. I don't know how thin I should go with it. Okay. I'm going to start pressure flaking it, and I'll probably finish it out with pressure. Yeah, from here on in. Yeah. Okay. It feels brittle and not flexible. So what that means is I'm going to be risking it if I try to do long pointy barbs or a long pointy tip. So I'm going to keep it kind of bulky. But I'll try to push it as much as I can. See if I can do the long pointy barb thing and the long pointy tip thing. And the narrow notch thing. So I am going to try to go as narrow as I can on the notches, as pointy as I can on the tip and the barbs. And I'll try not to create any crushing or step fractures that normally would look okay on a chert arrowhead, but it shows up as a cloudy area on this clear quartz crystal, Any kind of crushing shows up as a cloudy area. Yeah. Or in any direction that I nap that's not smooth ends up looking like a cloudy area. Like if it causes too many ripples, it looks a little cloudy. Okay, I think I should put the notches in first. Yeah, and then I'll work on the edges later. This is sharp. It's like glass. I mean, those little pieces are digging into me like glass. I didn't expect that. Yeah, it's thicker than I normally would have it. At this stage, I'm just afraid to snap it. It's such a beautiful material that I'm afraid to snap it. I probably should thin it more. So the notches can look better. So I don't have to apply so much pressure either. I gotta be careful not to crack it. I might have cracked it. No, it looks like there's a crack in it, but it's because it's so clear that a ridge it resembles a crack. Okay. Yeah. One thing, it doesn't crack easily, which is good. Okay. Some of you guys are probably out there. Yeah, I've napped quartz crystal before. Just get on with it. Don't be so dramatic. Yeah. I have not napped much of this stuff, so cut me a little slack. The reason why I say that is because I'm annoying myself taking too much time. All right, I'm just gonna go with what I got so far. That's thin enough. All right. Can you see? I can't even see. So I'm just proceeding like I normally would, okay? Nothing special. I feel like I'm installing some incipient cracks, so I'm going to back off. It's notching pretty well, but I think I installed an incipient crack right here on that side of the notch. That could expand and take that whole barb off. I don't know. Could be my imagination. It is pressure flaking relatively easily. Even though the flakes are not long, at least they're not stalling. Yeah, and I'm able to do pop outs. See, that pop out went all the way to there without an incipient crack. Sometimes when I pop them out with a lot of pressure, it causes a crack to run into that notch or ahead of that notch. This time nothing happened, so it's good. One thing good about this quartzite, I don't leave metal marks. It doesn't leave metal, doesn't accumulate on the surface. Yeah, I don't see metal marks when I do this. Cool. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up Yeah, I'm just going to finish up with pressure. Yep, same as I normally nap. So I didn't pay attention to the grain on this, even though I think it naps better in one direction than the other. And I think I may have gotten lucky with that this plane that I'm napping in is conducive to flaking. I think if it was oriented in another direction, it might not have been as easy. This has been relatively easy, surprising, which surprises me. Yeah. The other, I've napped like 3 or 4 other ones, and they were not as easy. Of course, I was dealing with a lot of cracks on the other ones. Internal issues on the other points that I've napped out of quartz crystal. They were full of cracks. This is one of the largest pieces I've been able to get out of quartz crystal. I think I only got one larger piece than this, and that was last year. And I was fortunate enough to nap a big crystal last year at the Tennessee Classic Nap-In in Chapmansboro, Tennessee, last May. I was able to nap a quartz crystal, or a piece of one. I was just given a chunk that was left over from another crystal. My friend asked me, "You want to nap this?" I said, "Sure. When I'm at a nap-in, I'll nap anything." Yeah, it literally feels like I'm napping an ice cube. I can't see the edge. That's not gonna work. I gotta grind it down. It makes it both easier to see and easier to anchor the tool, the tip of the tool. But yeah, I'm just napping it like regular chert. I'm grinding it too much. Why too much? Why do I say it's ground too much? Because it's getting a little too narrow. But I do want to put as fine a needle tip on it as I can. But I might overdo it. What am I doing? I'm trying to match the other side. And sharpen it at the same time. $37. Yeah, that's good enough. I think I do see a few dull spots. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It'd be a lot cooler if I put a lot of serrations in it, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to make sure the edge is sharp. Yeah, now that I've done this one, I could probably go thinner on the next one and push the limits. Alright, so yeah, quartz crystal. Not too bad. And that's a lot like tempered glass, like I was saying earlier. Yeah. Yeah, a lot like tempered glass. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get nice little pop outs at the bottom of the notches. That's good enough. Nice. Yeah, it was easier than I thought to run flakes across and not get step fractures. Easier than I thought. Although the terminations are not all that feathery, they're still not too bad. There's a few undetached flakes at the terminations, but it's not bad. Like there's one stuck right here. You can barely see it. All right. Before I drop it or mess it up, that's it. There you go. It's a little scalorn point made of quartz crystal. Or whatever point. Not all points like this are called scalorn. Okay. I think it came out all right. Yeah. To get a piece out of this, I don't know. We're going to get a thumbnail of these two together. How's that? No, that's cheating. I don't think I'll be able to get one of these out of this one. Some of those cracks look pretty bad. All right. Okay, I like it. There you go. That's it.